Hey guys, Angel here today, and guess what? I started wondering why my Morgans got graded the way they did. Like, we sent off a bunch of Morgans in like a bulk submission, and I'm trying to understand why they graded them the way they did. Since these Morgans are graded by PCGS, I decided to look up the PCGS grading scale, which I don't know if they have a more in-depth one, but this is pretty much all I was able to find. So basically it says if a coin is graded MS 62, nowhere with average or below average strike, numerous marks or hairlines. So this is graded at MS 62. And what are hairlines? Hairlines are infused, shallow scratches, and they are common on circulated coinage. But it doesn't really say anything about the hits, because this one has tons of hits everywhere. I mean, you can see it seems like it's super scratched up, but I guess from what I'm understanding, they don't really care about all these hits in the field. Because when they're grading a coin, they're basically just looking at the focal points. And you're like, oh, what the heck is a focal point? Basically, the focal point is a high point on the coin. The MS62 is nowhere with average or below average strike and numerous marks or hairlines. Which this one has numerous marks or hairlines, definitely. But the first focal point would be, they're basically saying it's the hair on the forehead above the eye. So they're looking for any kind of wear. And I don't know. I don't think I see anywhere. And then they want to look at wear on the cheek. So this one, it's hard to tell if there's any wear on the cheek because it's has so many marks on it. And then the third focal point on the front would be the hair right above the ear. Which this one has a lot of chatter going on, so it's really hard to tell. So we'll look better on a better coin. But yeah, basically this one says it doesn't have any wear. So another part of the wear is they look to see how crisp the tips of the wings are. They look to see if there's any wear on the breast feathers. But then you got to take into account whether it's a weak strike coin or not. Because I don't know, I feel this one has some wear on the breast feathers, but I could be wrong. I guess it's all about knowing the strikes too, because some of them probably have better strikes and some of them don't. But I agree on this one, MS62. I'm not sure I agree about there being no wear, but I don't know what the die is, so I guess I'd have to look at the die strikes on the 85-0. But I do agree it's average or below average strike, and there's definitely numerous marks everywhere. And I have, these are all the same year. So I would assume that the breast feathers would be a little weak on the back of this one too. All right, so the MS63 says average or slightly weak strike with moderate marks or hairlines. Basically, the strike can be a little bit weak as long as like the details are there. So let's look at the hair above the eyes, on the forehead. Then let's look at the ear. I don't know if it looks weak. It kind of looks weak. I guess you have to like hold it from all different angles. I don't know. The hair by the ear, does that look weak? I don't know. Like her face. And then the back, let's look at the tip of the wings. Let's look at the breast. I don't know, this breast seems less worn. It seems like there's more detail on the breast. And then they look at like the talons in the leg part. I don't know, let's look. Do the breasts appear? Does one breast appear to have like less feathers or more wornness? I don't know. To me, I feel like that one's a little bit worn. So basically, the guidelines on the MS64, it says average or better strike with scattered marks or hairlines, though none severe. So we're looking for the strike to be better, which this is the one that I look at the first. I always look at the breast feathers. And then let's look at the tip of the wings. Let's look at them talons. Let's look at the hair. Right up there, this hair. Let's look at the hair by the ears. Let's look at her face. So basically, that's what their MS64 grade. All right, let's check out the breast. I mean, does this strike seem a little bit more superior? I think it does. I think it's more crispy. But I'm going to move these ones out of the way. Because we're going up to the higher grades. Can you take me higher? But these are a different year. Because like these ones was the 85 O's. 85. Oh, 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 it's magic. Yes, those were the 85 O's. And now we're going to 87s. And I already went over the MS64 grading. But I mean, this one looks like it has like blah, 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 blah. It says average or better strike with scattered marks or hairlines, though none severe. So I guess they wouldn't consider like this to be severe. Yeah, I think that's why I'll probably never be able to like grade out Morgan's properly, because like there's some stuff once I see it I can't like unsee it. But here's the 64. We already went over the 64. Up next is MS65. And it says, above average strike with minor marks or hairlines, mostly out of the focal areas. And we went over the focal areas. So basically they're looking for like hits in the focal areas, which is the hair, the other hair, and her face. Sorry, my lighting is like driving you crazy. Woo, woo. And then on the back, of course, they're going to look up here at the tip, right there at the tip. They're going to look at the breast, and they're going to look at the talons in the feet. The feet. And that brings us to what they would consider a 66 grading, a MS 66 grading. It says, well struck with a few marks or hairlines, not in focal areas. So there can't be like any marks in the focal areas. Because like I had to look up what the heck was a focal area. So the focal area is not the field. So, I mean, you can get an MS66 that has a bunch of like field hits, I guess. But let's look at her hair. Let's look at the hair above her ears. I mean, her face looks pretty good. But a face. Yes, her face looks pretty good. I don't know. What do you think? And then let's look at the tips. Right there, up at the tips. Let's look at the breasts. Let's look at the feet. Tickle, tickle. All right, let's look at the strike. I mean, this is just one grade higher. It's like, check out the foot area. Check out the foot area. Check out the breast. Check out the tips of the wings. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Oh, I almost said I saw something. But let's go. Let's go to the hair. The hair area. Above the eyes. Above the forehead. And check out her cheeks. And check out the hair behind the ear. Man, they must like have to tilt it like every which way, because at some points it looks like there's a little bit of wear. But I don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, in just the details that I had given you guys, like this one's 2 grades lower. Just from the details that, I mean, their details on their website is like super vague. I just had to look up like focal points and what's considered a hairline. And the focal point is the high areas, and the hairlines are like incused. So, like if it looks like the hits are like sunken in, because isn't that what incused is? Yes, incused is inward. So if it looks like the hits are inward, but I mean, honestly, I still would not be able to say, yes, that's a 64, and yes, that's a 66. Because, like, the details just really don't scream, I'm better than you. Well, I guess I will never be able to be a PCGS grader. I will never be able to grade your Morgan dollars. I'll leave that to the professionals. But, you know, I don't even understand what the professionals are seeing. So maybe you will. I don't know. But I just thought I'd share what I was like trying to figure out for myself with you. And maybe you figured it out a little bit better than me. Or maybe you're just still really confused and you're like, yeah, like all these 3 different grades look the same to me. But I just thought I'd share because it was just like something I wanted to know and was trying to figure out. I appreciate you guys joining and staying this long if you're still here. So if you are, I'd appreciate it. Maybe you give me a little likey, and maybe you want to give me like a comment right down there below me and let me know your thoughts.